Hello and welcome to another booktube video from me, Lauren, from Lauren and the Books. I hope you're all very, very well indeed. Today I'm going to be showcasing some of the books that are already on these here shelves behind me. What I thought I would do is, I saw Lena do this where she talked through all the yellow books on her shelf, and I thought maybe I would start doing a sort of like what maybe is a bookshelf tour, but done in colours. Now my books are arranged by colour, as you can see, colour of the spine. So the books we're going to look at today are the pink books. That's why I've got a pink t-shirt on and pink eyeshadow and pink lipstick to match it all together. So I thought I'd get the pink books off my shelf. These are just pink spined books. It might find that on the front of those books it's not even pink, but these are my pink spined books, and I thought I'd just talk through what they are here, just as a way of sort of like looking at some of my books on my shelves. Now there are some newer books in there. Look, just shut up, Lauren, and get on with it. I'm going to get the books off the shelf, then we can just talk it through. All right. Pink books off shelf. Oh, lovely gaping hole there. What have we got behind the hole? Oh, I tell you what, this is funny. This actually came with one of the books that I'm going to show you. Let's start here. This book, What Would Boudicca Do, was wrapped up in this gorgeous banana leaf wrapping paper when it arrived. It came from the publisher, and I was like, oh, I'll definitely use that to wrap some more presents or something. Now I think maybe I'll put it in a frame or something. It's lovely, isn't it? He's nodding along. So yeah, well, let's start with that. So ignore this gaping hole behind me. It's not very aesthetically pleasing, is it? But I'm going to move them from this side over to this side, and we're going to talk through what we've got. So the first one is What Would Boudicca Do? This is by E. Foley and B. Coates. Now I think this came out a couple of years ago. It got sent to me from the publisher, and it's everyday problems solved by history's most remarkable women. And it's sort of got like, for instance, Boudicca, so Ada Lovelace and surviving a broken home, Phoolan Devi and not being a lady, Isabella Beaton and beating imposter syndrome. So yeah, I mean, I don't know why I've never really got round to that. That sort of seems like the thing that I'd be really into. Also, the colour of this book underneath, lovely light blue. Not duck egg. Duck egg's green, isn't it? Or is it light blue? Who knows? But yeah, that's my first pink book. They're not in the order they were on the shelves, they've just sort of been dumped down. Next one is one that I've read this year, and that's Lorelei by Laura Doctrill. I've read this year, and it was also a reread because I read it a few years ago. Laura Doctrill is the author of Big Bones, which is one of my favourite books. Look at this little smile on my face as I talk about Big Bones. This is Lorelei, which is a book about a mermaid who gets washed up on Hastings, which is a seaside town sort of geographically close to where I live. I say, how else would it be close to where I live? Close to where I live. And yeah, I really liked it, and I actually read this as part of the Owls Readathon earlier this year, because I had to read a book with a sea creature in it, or was it or a book set by the seaside. I don't know, but I read it, and then I read the sequel, which I hadn't read before, and I really loved it. It was just so much fun and so enjoyable. Yeah, so well done. That's been read and enjoyed. This was one that I started. Now, I've actually had a few people ask me about this recently, so good timing that I'm doing this video. This is Red, White and Royal Blue by Casey Mcquiston. Now, I picked this up for a cosy reading night earlier on this year. Now, what I read of it, I quite enjoyed. I think I read about a chapter and a bit, but I never got any further than that. And it wasn't like because I wasn't enjoying it. I very much was enjoying it. I just think then other reading took over, and I think maybe it was then like the Owls Readathon or something like that, or the Irish Readathon, and I put it to one side and I just never got around to it. And I thought I will get round to that eventually. So this is a love story told between the son of the the President of the United States, Alex Claremont Diaz, and the Prince of Wales, who's called Henry. Is it his? Well, I don't know what his actual title is, but like, I think it's supposed to be the equivalent of Prince Harry. Actually, fun fact, Prince Harry's real name is Henry. I mean, I say fun fact, I'm sure a lot of people know that. But I think this guy's supposed to be like the equivalent of Prince Harry. And yeah, they get it on. And I was enjoying it. So yeah, I do need to get back to it very, much enjoyed. I'm going to put that to the... No, because they're all going back on the shelves. There's no point in putting them in shelves here. This is another one that I've read. This is Feminists Don't Wear Pink and Other Lies. This is a collection of essays curated by Scarlett Curtis. And there's all sorts of people in here, from Zoe Sugg to Beanie Feldstein to Deborah Francis White to Dolly Alderton, Adwoa Aboa, lots and lots. Lolly Adefope, love Lolly Adefope, and yeah, very much enjoyed reading this. As with essay collections, some of them are super strong, some of them are not as great. I actually probably need to have a little revisit of this. I bought there was another one that came out of this, and it's All Right to Feel Blue. Oh, here it is, look, right here, which is loads bigger. Look at the size of that. I mean, they're exactly the same size that way, but look, that way, this one's bigger. And as you can see, I didn't get very far with that. Look, I just got sort of that far. So yeah, maybe I need to revisit that as well, because that one's about mental health and depression. Oh, can I put that back in one-handedly? Yes, I can. So yeah, Feminists Don't Wear Pink and Other Lies. Good. Then I've got this little tiny baby book, which I bought from Window on Wales in St David's, which was a little gift shop in St David's in Wales. And I picked up this book and thought it was so cute. It's Gone for Lunch, 52 Things to Do in Your Lunch Break. And it's just a collection of 52 things to do on your lunch break, from read a newspaper, write a letter, to more outdoorsy things like make a mini documentary, lunchtime talks, green spaces. And I had such designs to do things like this in my lunch hour. I was like, oh, that's a really good idea. 52, that's one a week. Oh yeah, I love that, I love that. And never got around to doing potentially any of them. So maybe this is another little thing I need to revisit. This is the sort of thing I think, oh, that'll make a lovely series, and then the logistics of it just don't work out, because in my job, I don't always get a lunch break, or a long lunch break, or a break in that I'm able to do things. And also I think maybe it's sort of curated more towards people who work in cities, which I don't. And you can go to a lunchtime talk. There's not many lunchtime talks where I am. Lunchtime theatre, not much lunchtime theatre where I have a power nap. Oh lol, imagine me trying to find somewhere. Lunchtime choir. So I mean, all nice things that I would like to do in the lunchtime, but just not so much public art. There's no public art around where I live. Gardening. Maybe I'd have to rethink this, but some really nice ideas of things to do. So yeah, nice. I've got a proof copy here of Just Eat It by Laura Thomas, PhD. This came out in January 2019. I got sent this, I haven't read it yet, but I think I lent it to my friend Emma, who found it quite interesting. This says here, Just Eat It isn't just a book, it's part of a mission to help give women back control over our bodies, to free us from restrictive dieting, disordered eating and punishing exercise, to reject the guilt and anxiety associated with eating, and ultimately to feel good about ourselves. So what I think, because there's a book similar to this which I really loved, called Eat Up by Ruby Tando, which I loved, read it at the same time as Big Bones actually, and I found that as a celebration of food. And I think every time I look at this, because it's written by someone with a PhD, I feel like maybe it feels, I don't know, maybe it feels a bit diety. Like, I don't know if I'm gonna, I mean, I don't know that, I need to read it to make my mind up about it, but because it's written by a nutritionist and things like that, I feel like it's going to be a bit preachy. Is it going to be a bit preachy? Who knows? But yeah, maybe I need to just give it a try, and then if it is a bit preachy, I don't have to read it anymore. There we go. So yeah, need to read that. This is one of those books which has got a lovely pink spine, but actually is green on the front, and this is Rebel Ladies Who Rock the World, Brazen, by Penelope Baggio. Now I really liked this when I read this. There's a lot of these books out at the moment, isn't there? Sort of like books with beautiful artwork, as is this this book, and then information about, oh god, look at that artwork. Some of this I would actually like on my wall. And then information about the women in question. What I liked about this is that, so for instance, we're going to look at Delia Ackley. It was done in like comic strip, graphic novel type things, which I really liked, and then followed with a big piece of art. So yeah, I found that quite nice. Josephine Baker, there we go. What's the lovely bit of art associated with Josephine Baker? Oh, stop it. Lovely. So yeah, I really like that. I make a really good gift, very much like that. Who's that published by? Ebury Press. Lovely stuff. Next up is Lena Norms, love her, a collection of poetry that she wrote. This is Doom Rolled in Glitter by Lena Norms. She sold these herself. I disgustingly haven't got round to reading these. I'm actually going to leave this out. I'm going to leave this out so I can visit it. The artwork throughout this is lovely. It's done by, I've forgotten her name. She's fantastic. I actually commissioned her to do a little picture of me not so long ago. I'll insert it in here. Oh my goodness me, why can't I find her name? Emma Hayden, she's great. Have a look at her on Instagram. She's really, really, really great. And yeah, this is a collection of 20 poems written by Lena, and I need to read it. That is staying out. I'm putting that over there. That's going to stay out. Thing is because it's so narrow, I've missed that on the shelf. Next up is a collection of essays by Samantha Irby called Meaty. Now this came out, oh no, this wasn't the newest one. There's a new one which only came out in April called Wow, No Thank You. But I've actually read a collection of hers before called We're Never Meeting in Real Life. And I just find her great. Like, she's an unapologetically loud, fat, fantastic woman. And yeah, I really, really enjoyed her essays when I read those before. So there's 2 more sets, which I didn't realise until I got sent the proofs of them. And one of them's got a little... I was going to call it a guinea pig, but I do mean a hedgehog on the front, so that's lovely. Then we've got this little, this is a lovely little unicorn. There's a little story behind this unicorn, actually, because I had another unicorn, which I don't know whether I bought it for David or David bought it for me, like basically this unicorn here. And my cousin's daughter was round one day, and she got playing with the unicorn, and she was having such a lovely time with that unicorn. She cried when she went at the thought of having to leave the unicorn. So left the house, went and took the unicorn with her, and I can't remember the real, I think she became very attached to it, or did it get damaged? I don't know. Anyway, she bought me a replacement unicorn. This unicorn, I mean the other unicorn was lovely, but look at this unicorn's little golden hooves and golden there and golden inside the ears. So yeah, I did all right out of that. I got rid of my old unicorn, traded it in. So yeah, that's cute. They just sit on top of my books. The next one is This Is Not a Drill, an Extinction Rebellion Handbook. This is a non-fiction book about Extinction Rebellion and climate change. This is one that I bought thinking, I will read that. I haven't got round to reading it yet. It's about saving the planet, etc, etc. I'm sure you've all heard of Extinction Rebellion, and this is sort of like their, what's the word? Like their pledge, is that what I mean? It's like, well, it's a handbook to their thoughts and things. I mean, I need to read it. I mean, is now the time to read it? Don't want to freak myself out even more than what's going on. We've got a global pandemic going on. This is one that I need to read. This is from this is a proof copy of Skint Estate by Cash Carraway. This came out in summer last year. And Cash is a single mum living in temporary accommodation, and she's been sort of moved around the system since she was 16, and this is her talking very openly about her experiences with that and what it's like to be a single mother, and hunger, and dealing with councils and things like that, poverty, etc, etc. And yeah, when I got sent it, I just finished reading Lowborn. And I really, really love that book by Kerry Hudson. And I meant to go straight onto this. And actually I lent this to my cousin. Speaking of this very unicorn, I lent that to my cousin. And she really enjoyed it. And I need to read that as well. So yeah, I need to read that. I do. The next one is, oh, this is exciting as well. This is another proof. This came out, just highlights how many bloody proofs I've got that I haven't read. Naughty, naughty me. I don't know when this came out. Maybe this isn't a proof. No, it is a proof. Oh, well, it says 2nd of May 2019, but it's crossed out. This is translated from Korean. It is by Jin Min Lee, and it says Marilyn and Me. And it says here, oh no, that's a quote from the book. Let me find an actual blurb of the book. It's the winter of 1954, and in the rubble-strewn aftermath of the Korean War, Marilyn Monroe has come to Seoul to perform to the US soldiers stationed there. Incongruous in her silk dress and flawless makeup, she sings of seduction and love, dazzling battle-scarred Americans and Koreans alike. Alice, the woman chosen to be Marilyn's translator, was once Kim A-sun, before her name was stolen from her, along with so much else, by the war. With her prematurely grey hair, her fraying lace gloves, and her memories that will engulf her if she lets them, Alice works as a typist for the US military. It is a job that has enabled her to survive and to forget. As they travel across the country, over 4 days of Marilyn's tour, the two women begin to form an unlikely friendship. But when Alice becomes embroiled in a sting operation involving an entrapment of a communist spy, she is forced to confront the past she has been trying so hard to escape. Well, that sounds bloody brilliant. That's Fourth Estate that published that. Bloody hell, that sounds great. God, this is going to really highlight some books that I want to read. Next one is puzzle book. Not only is it a puzzle book, it's a cool Ordnance Survey puzzle book. Very pink spine. Bought this for my holiday last year. Went on holiday to Lake District with my cousin Laura and some other friends, and that was lovely. And when I was younger, I used to really like, I still really like looking at maps. When I was younger, in geography, we used to do like ordnance survey work where you'd get like an ordnance survey map and then questions about it, and I saw that this book came out and I was like, I am going to buy that and take that away with me. Now I did buy it and take it away with me and did a few there. I'm not as good as reading ordnance survey maps as I thought I was, particularly in terms of scale. I'm very very difficult, find scale very, very difficult. So I'm just trying to find a scale. So given that the scale of the map is 1 to 12,500, how far apart of the two wells as the crow flies to the nearest 25 metres? I need to have proper good talking to myself how to do that, because I used to be able to do things like that and I don't know. But yeah, really fun, really enjoyed doing that, and have done it since, have done a few of those since I've come back from holiday. Now, next one has got a pink spine. This is how faded it was. I bought this second hand, but look how faded that is compared to how lovely and pink the original book is. This is Hotel World by Ali Smith. Oh, I thought it was short stories, but it's not. It's a novel. Ali Smith, I've only ever read the seasonal quartet by her, and every time I read them, I really enjoy them. I keep thinking, oh, I must read more Ali Smith, and I've picked up like the odd Ali Smith book over the years from second-hand bookshops, etc. This being one of them, bought from Oxfam, I think in Tunbridge Wells. And it says here, the kind of novel that is as rare as a good room service, Ali Smith's Hotel World is a passionate, funny, serious, captivating glimpse into the lives of 5 people connected to one branch of the ubiquitous global hotel chain. Brought together and forced apart by a bizarre incident involving a dumb waiter, we share their very different experiences of life in the aftermath of death, of pain, of sorrow, of hope and love, everything in fact that the world dares to throw at us. I really like books set in hotels as well, so yeah. What do you mean for not getting around to that? This is a, I bought this second hand from the, actually I bought this second hand, it's in the almost perfect nick from the volunteer desk at the hospital that I work at. It's About Bloody Time Period by Emma Barnett. Forever reading books about periods. I suffer so much with period pains and always looking for some sort of tips or anything just to get rid of my bloody period pain. And bought this because it was £1, and yeah, been meaning to read that as well. So weirdly, it's got a quote from Jennifer Saunders on the front. I just think it's an odd person to have on the front of this book. Brilliant and funny. I mean, I like Jennifer Saunders, she's a very funny comedian, but yeah, just found it a bit of an odd person to have on the front. But yeah, non-fiction book about periods, need to read it. This is a recent one that I bought. I'm going to read this next month, and this is one where, you know, I said earlier about pink spines, this has got a yellow front cover. This is My Time Among the Whites, Notes from an Unfinished Education by Janine Capo-Cruse. Now I saw this on Mercedes' channel, and it's a series of essays about finding yourself, God, this book, it just feels lovely. It's got, what are these? I think these are called deckled edges, aren't they? When the edges don't quite meet. It just really feels nice. French flaps. Nice shiny picture of Janine on the back there. This is about, this is a collection of essays about like not feeling like you belong in the country that you were born into. She's raised by the daughter of Cuban refugees. What drew me to this is that I remember Mercedes said there was a, there's a really good essay in here about her relationship with Disneyland, and I was like, oh, David will love that, and I will also love that. So I was thinking, oh, that would be a nice thing for me to read, and then David to read, and then us two to discuss it. As if we haven't got enough to talk about, but why not discuss that as well? So yeah, very much looking forward to getting to this. Going to read this next month. In fact, I'm going to leave it out so I can read it next month. Very much looking forward to it. Another unicorn. This is a unicorn that over the years, every time there's been children in our house, that sort of in the similar way that I lost the last unicorn, say, oh, play with this unicorn, that will entertain you. There's not, actually, for quite a bright house, there's not much here for like kids to do. Remember when you were younger and you had to go to like your mum's mate's house and there was never anything, no toys or anything to look at? This is what you look at if you come round and you're a child in our house. Actually, that's not true. I do have a few children's books. Right, we're down to the last 3. Then we've got a Daphne du Maurier book. This is The King's General. Love these Virago Modern Classic Spine. I've got quite a few of these with the Daphne du Maurier, although they're redoing them with new bloody front covers, so they're gonna, these aren't gonna be in existence soon. And just really like this, the spine. They've got lots of different lovely front covers. This is The King's General. I don't really know what it's about. Oh, I do. It's about Honor Harris, and I think this has been on so many TBRs over the years and I've never got round to reading it. This is about Honor Harris meeting Sir Richard Grenville. He's proud, reckless and utterly captivating. They have a rare connection, and with her beauty and sharp wit, she intrigues him too. But days before their wedding, tragedy strikes and Honor must reconcile herself to a life alone. 15 years later, war forces honour to shelter with her sister at the Cornish estate of Menebilly. Is that not where Daphne du Maurier actually lived, Menebilly? There she meets Richard, who has risen through the ranks to become a general in the King's army. With all of England in turmoil, Honour must draw on her courage to save Richard's life and defend her country. Two blokes called Richard. So yeah, that's another Daphne du Maurier. This is Memoirs of an Ex-Prom Queen, the cult classic that defined a generation by Alex Kate Shulman. Over 1 million copies of this sold. This is... I wonder why this is on the pink one. I mean, it has got the tiniest little bit of pink here and that pink lipstick. I suppose that probably is a pink spine. This is a republished book, which was originally published in 1969. And yeah, like it says, 1 million copies sold. Memoirs of an Ex-Prom Queen. I don't really know much about it. Sasha Davis has everything a girl in 1950s suburbia could want. Beauty, intelligence, and an all-star sports captain boyfriend. All she needs to succeed is to keep her skin clear and her intelligence hidden under her prom queen tiara. But when she drops out of college to marry, Sasha soon realises her life has become a fearful countdown to her 30th birthday, the year when her beauty will have faded, and life as she knows it will end. As Sasha rebels against her fate, she finds herself experiencing an intellectual and sexual awakening that might be her only chance of outrunning that ageing process. Yeah. Coming of age through the times of sexual double standards, job discrimination and harassment of the 50s and 60s. It says 5 decades later, it reminds a funny and heartbreaking story of a young woman in a man's world. Interesting. And then the last one I've got is one that I've read as well, but not this copy. This is the Poisonwood Bible by Barbara Kingsolver. Now I had a little penguin, what they call pocket penguins or something, a version of this. I've read this as a buddy read with a few other booktubes a few years ago, and very much enjoyed it. And then I think Mercedes had 2 copies of this one, and she was getting rid of it, and I was like, oh, I will have that, because it's a lovely book, and maybe I'll get round, it's a lovely front cover, and maybe I'll get round to rereading it again. And yeah, that's how I ended up with this one. So yeah, very nice. So those are all my pink books. I was going to say, let me know if you've got any pink books. Don't let me know if you've got any pink books. Hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you'd like me to do other ones of these with different colours. Let me tell you, I've got lots of blue books and lots of white spined books as well. So they will be long videos. I mean, I think this video is going to be quite long anyway. Now I just need to put these nicely back on the shelf. Ooh. And yeah, I'll see you all again soon for another butcher video. Goodbye! Oh, God.